You mentioned Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz. How far is he away? How close is he to a title shot in sharing the ring with Bud Crawford?
I don't know. But Vergil, he's right there. He's right there. He's been proving that he belongs with the top fighters in the division. And, who knows? A couple of fights or the next fight or whatever the case may be, he might be sharing the ring with Terrence Crawford.
It's a really close fight. They both. Let me just say this first. I think they can both win the fight.
Yeah.
I lean more towards Crawford. If we're going based off of their last fights, I'm going with Crawford. I feel like he has a slight edge right now.
I like Crawford. I like Spence too as well, but Crawford has, to me, more of like an elusive style. He throws more combinations. I would love both for Vergil. I believe Spence is the easier fighter for Vergil.
Look like it's a possibility that Bud Crawford versus Vergil Ortiz will happen in 2023, April or May, since Vergil Ortiz is mandatory in the WBO. Good fight, and I'm more optimistic of this fight being made than Errol Spence and Crawford. Now, if Errol Spence and Crawford is made in 2023, I think unification trumps mandatory. But if it doesn't happen, Vergil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford is an excellent fight. And people say Crawford should have picked him when the Spence fight was going to happen. But what I don't get is, why didn't Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis petition the WBO instead of petitioning the WBA and IBF? I mean, Oscar De La Hoya said his reasoning is because he thinks Errol Spence is an easier fight for Vergil Ortiz than Terrence Crawford. I mean, Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis are #1 and #2 in the WBO. Why didn't Vergil Ortiz try to speed his mandatory up by petitioning the WBO? And why did Jaron Ennis did not put a petition in the WBO to fight Terrence Crawford? Or could Jaron Ennis put in a petition to fight Vergil Ortiz for eliminator, and the winner gets a shot at Terrence Crawford? At the end of the day, they still fight anybody, and I believe they will. They said Keith Thurman, Stanionis, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. But it seems like their first choice is to fight Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford is the last resort. Anyway, if the Crawford-Spence fight don't happen, I would not mind seeing Terrence Crawford and Ortiz go at it.
The reason I don't want to see Bivol Canelo 2 is I don't want to give these judges that can be crooked sometimes, I don't want to give them another shot at robbing them.
Teddy Atlas is not known as a big Canelo fan, but he does make a point here. The reason he doesn't want to see the fight again is because the first fight, Bivol clearly won, and everybody thought he won. Even the hardest core Canelo fans thought there was no way Canelo won that fight. The right guy won the fight. The problem Atlas is having is how close the scorecards were. Atlas fears if Canelo performs better than he did in the first fight, which I think he will come in with a better game plan and fight much better. Doesn't mean he will win the fight, but Canelo has a lot of pride and he wants to rematch. But what Teddy Atlas is saying is, if Canelo comes out there and fights better than the first fight and lose, he still might get the victory by the judges because he feels like the judges are corrupt. Or at least he's saying some of the judges are corrupt. He's asking Bivol, why give them a second chance to rob you? Very interesting point from Teddy Atlas. I do agree with them on one thing. I'd rather see better BF and Bivol fight for undisputed than the Canelo-Bivol rematch. I watch either one of those fights, but being a fan of undisputed champions, I would rather see the better BF-Bivol fight, and maybe Canelo could fight the winner. What do you think about Teddy Atlas' comments? Is it a stronger possibility of Bivol getting robbed in a rematch if Canelo performs better but loses the fight? Leave your thoughts in comments below. Jay Beezy, I'm gone.